Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. I'm super excited to be joined by a serial entrepreneur, digital innovator, startup evangelist, and one of the top 30 Vancouver tech thought leaders and influencers. That is Hussein Hallak, and I am very excited for this conversation because entrepreneurship, we talk all about it. But I'm also super excited about a couple of the areas that Hussein has really become quite the subject matter expert in. Hussein, welcome to the program. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I'm looking forward to the conversation.
Absolutely. You have a very impressive background, my friend, in technology and entrepreneurship. Can you share your journey and how you became interested in AI and blockchain?
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was always someone who loved technology from my early beginnings in Syria. And I didn't know what the word entrepreneur meant, actually. I just knew that I pursued whatever I thought was more interesting, and that ended up being starting businesses. Not that if I knew how much work would go into it, that I would start it right now, but it was the journey that I pursued. And technology is super fascinating. I can't get enough of it, and that's how I found myself learning blockchain and learning AI.
I love it. I love it. You've launched over 20 successful ventures. What are some of the key lessons you have learned along the way?
One of the main things that I've learned is don't pursue something just because you love it. Obviously, you need to have the passion for it, just like Steve Jobs does it, because it's really, really hard. You're going to have to go through a lot of hardships, but you want to pursue something because it actually adds value to someone. And hopefully a lot of people, those will be your clients. So I think if there is anything that is a key element for success or defines success or failure is the word value. Who do you add value to? How do you deliver that value? And how do you extract that value from the market, basically how you get paid? These are the key components. And you want to be fully super aware of the disruption waves that are happening, which are happening quite so often right now. I think right now starting a company at this kind of climate is both advantageous, but also very challenging because the market changes super fast.
Yeah, absolutely. So as a strategic advisor to numerous tech startups, what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs looking to launch their own businesses in today's digital age?
Definitely start the business, but don't start it the way other businesses start. So don't start, going around trying to register the business, trying to build a website, or trying to, look all fancy. What you want to do is start talking to people. Start as fast as possible. Put your idea out there and say, "Hey, I'm thinking of starting this." Some of the most successful businesses I started was me sitting in front of someone and say, what if we did this? And he says, well, I would buy this. Or somebody would be saying, well, we're having this problem. And I'd say, well, if I solve this for you, what if we do this? What if I, for example, deliver that? And they would say, yeah, that would be something. And then I would go, and next day I would come back and say, I have it. And I think some of the best things that you can do as an entrepreneur is to sell the business or sell the idea or sell the product before even building it. And that may seem scary for a lot of people because it goes against everything you know about business. It's like people, say, you have to have a great product. It has to be done very well. You have to be the expert in your field. But that is not the case. Most of those great entrepreneurs that we see, they first sold the idea. And of course, you have to deliver. Let me be clear. You're not selling, vaporware, or you're not selling snake oil. You want to sell something, sell the idea, as in like pitch it to others. And once you find enough people that are interested or willing to pay you for it, then you go build it and you do well and deliver on your promise. But first make the promise, see if people are interested at all, and then go build it.
Absolutely. I'm chatting with Hussein Hallak, who's a serial entrepreneur and thought leader with over 25 years of experience in emerging branding, tech, and education. He's the founder and CEO of Next Decentrum. I hope I'm saying that correct. And he's leading a world-class team that's revolutionizing.
You said it perfectly.
Good. It's revolutionizing how businesses and cultural institutions harness the power of AI innovation and immersive technology. Hussein, before we cut to break, I want to ask you about some of the common misconceptions about AI and blockchain, and how can small business owners overcome these misconceptions to make informed decisions about adopting these technologies?
That's an excellent question. The most important misconception about technologies is believing that they are some sort of panacea or magical thing that you put it on anything and it will become better. Technologies, just like anything, have shortfalls and have areas where they're excellent and areas where they wouldn't work. Just like anything, you can't use a car where you need a truck, and you can't use a bus where you need a train. So these technologies, the best way to learn and the best way to implement those technologies, first learn. So ask people who are experts in it, read, but don't read, sensational articles about them. Try to get into a small course or something. There's a ton of accessible areas free. There are tons of YouTube channels. Just listen to it. Don't listen to the hype. Just listen to something that educates you, and then try to play around with it before you start implementing in your business. Because once you start implementing, there is a real cost for mistakes there. So try to play around with it. If you want to play around with AI, just play with ChatGPT and see what it can do. So you'll understand what the limitations are. And then when you implement it in an area that is not essential for your business. Because if it doesn't work or if it causes you issues, it doesn't impact the heart of your business. So learn, play around, and then implement it in a non-essential area. And what that will give you, it will give you some sort of control and some sort of understanding. And then that will allow you to say, oh, so it works here. So this is where I can get value. This is where I shouldn't implement it. And this is what I've always helped, whether it's big companies or just starting entrepreneurs. This approach really saved them hundreds of thousands of dollars and hundreds of hours of lost time and energy.
Absolutely. Hussein, we're going to leave it there. We're going to be right back and get down to business in just a moment. Hey, welcome back. You're listening to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. And I am chatting with Hussein Hallak, who is a serial entrepreneur, a digital innovator, startup evangelist, and we've been talking all about his true expertise, subject matter expertise in the areas of AI, blockchain, immersive experience, but truly all things entrepreneurship and all things technology, which I am very grateful for. Hussein, welcome back. I know you are the founder and CEO of Next Decentrum, and I'd love it if you can share a little bit about your company with our listeners.
Absolutely. Thank you for having me. Well, Next Decentrum is sort of like a venture incubator for big companies. A venture incubator is where ideas become reality. That's what a venture incubator is. It incubates those ideas into real life ventures. But for big companies, it's hard to enter into these tech areas. There are all these waves right now coming together: AI, blockchain, immersive technologies, gaming. They're coming together and they're forming these tremendous opportunities, trillions of dollars worth. And big companies want to enter those, but they don't have the luxury like small startups to, don't have the baggage of an existing business they need to manage. So we work with them and we tackle an area that they want to innovate in, and we treat it like a startup, start the idea, build the strategy, execute, deliver, manage, and then hand it over to the team and train their team on how to take it forward. So we run all the risks for them, and we do the work because everyone on the team has built several startups, have exited successfully startups, and me personally, I've ran one of the top incubators in North America. So this for them is an excellent deal because they get to play around in areas where they are interested in without carrying a ton of the risk. And that's what we do. And we call it innovation in a box, and we love doing it.
Absolutely amazing. Hussein, obviously we are having this conversation in late 2024. And I can't believe that because we're getting ready for 2025. I can't imagine what's going to take place in the upcoming year. But I imagine with all of your expertise in this space, you might have a little bit of a crystal ball forecast of what we can expect in some of these emerging tech spaces. What would you say we can look forward to in the upcoming new year?
It's a great question. I would say, first of all, this future is already here. It's just that a lot of people, you can read and say you feel that AI is everywhere, but a lot of businesses have not implemented. So the first thing I would say is what we're going to see is a more implementation to AI and more businesses adopting AI. And the best thing that we're going to see is new kinds of websites and new kind of conversational web where people don't want to, search, type, or whatever. What they're going to do is they're going to use AI or ChatGPT through Siri or other chats and just inform themselves through that. So businesses going to have to adopt that, just like businesses had to adopt Facebook before, had to be on Twitter before, and that's what's going to happen. The other thing that you're going to see is the rampant increase of misinformation. So we're going to see increase in cyber attacks, and we're going to see a lot of rampant misinformation. So blockchain is going to become a big player in helping us kind of decide which is real and which is not. So these are two very important trends that we're going to see happening. And the last thing is digital e-commerce. Customers want more digital experiences, not just buying things online. So we're going to see businesses having to adapt to that and using data in a big way to personalize their experiences for customers.
Hussein, you've shared so much in our short conversation over here, and I know you are a busy man, as our listeners may have noticed in the background. But I want to make sure our listeners can get in touch with you to continue the conversation. How can they do that?
They can find me on LinkedIn, Hussein Hallak, and I'll be very glad to connect with you. And also you can find me at nextdecentral.com, which is our website. And you can also go to husseinhallak.com, where I will be publishing my upcoming book in 2 months. So I look forward to connecting, and thank you very much for having me. Sorry about the noise between conferences, but I've loved the conversation.
No worries.
You're brilliant, guys.
No, we're grateful to have you on. Can't wait for the next conversation. Hussein Hallak, thank you so much for joining us on the program. That's a wrap for us this week on Get Down to Business, the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Get in touch with me on my website, syklein.com. To success, let's get down to business. We'll see you next week.